It is the 17th day of the US-Iran-Israel war, and yesterday President Donald Trump had said that he'd asked several allies to send warships to the Strait of Hormuz to keep the vital waterway open in the face of Iranian threats. But today, few tangible commitments from allies to do so. In fact, Germany pushing back very strongly against that request that European armies get involved.
What does the world expect? What does Donald Trump expect from, let's say, a handful or two handful of European frigates in the Strait of Hormuz that the powerful American Navy cannot accomplish there alone? We didn't start this war. We want diplomatic solutions and a swift end.
Well, it's not just Germany, the United Kingdom as well, not volunteering itself to defend the strait. Here's Keir Starmer speaking today at Downing Street.
The Strait of Hormuz is then a separate discussion, and it is a discussion. We're not at a point of decisions yet, and I want to really stress that. It is obviously a difficult question, that goes without saying, in relation to how you safeguard maritime traffic through the straits. Let me be clear, that won't be, and it's never been envisaged to be, a NATO mission. That'll have to be an alliance of partners, which is why we're working with partners both in Europe, in the Gulf, and with the US.
And with me now is Kethevane Gorjestani. Now, Kethevane, we are expecting Donald Trump to speak relatively shortly at the White House. He may well touch on this tension with European allies over the Strait of Hormuz. We'll cross to him when he starts to speak. But your reflections, first of all, then, on this rather lukewarm response from allies to his call to defend the strait.
Well, look, a lot of the allies now know how to deal with Donald Trump, and a lot of them have chosen the path of no official resistance, i.e. you don't say completely no to Donald Trump. You say that you're considering the matter, that you're discussing it, and that you'll give your answer a little bit later. That's sort of what the UK has done, which is saying we're in discussions, but there's no decision right now. The French have said that they're also talking about possible escorts when the situation will permit, so kicking the can down the road a little bit. South Korea is saying that it's carefully reviewing this option, but did not say whether it would go through with it or not. Other countries have actually decided to come out and say no. The Japanese, for example, are saying they're not currently considering this possibility, given the situation in Iran. So a little bit like the French saying that right now there is no way that you can secure or reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And Australia, too, has said that it was ruling out sending any ships to the Strait of Hormuz. What you're seeing there is that, yes, the allies don't want to directly anger Donald Trump, but that didn't really work, because now you're seeing Donald Trump threatening again, warning these allies that it's going to be bad for NATO going forward if the answer is no. And you're seeing a little bit of a tone change for Donald Trump since he started talking about asking countries to help in the Strait of Hormuz. It's been a few days now, and at the beginning he said that he was hopeful that countries would come and help. Then he said, I might ask them to come and help. And now he's demanding with threats that these countries that he says benefit more than the United States about reopening the Strait of Hormuz to come and help. Otherwise, we don't know exactly what would happen. So there's been a sort of gradual sort of strengthening of Donald Trump's position, while at the same time sort of saying that they've defeated Iran, that Iran's missile capabilities are completely destroyed, that he said a few days ago that they've basically won, the Americans and the Israelis, but that they want to continue winning. So it's a little bit all over the place because he's asking allies to come and help in a situation where he sort of says one day and the next that the situation is under control for the Americans. But at least when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz and that shipping route, that's not necessarily the case yet.